Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Speaker is Harrison KLEIN. He's an award-winning speaker, author, teacher. For almost 16 years, he's been an educator, 22 years as an entrepreneur and CEO of Elixir World Leadership Academy and Globacon Training Inc. He was autistic till 28, had a miracle, spontaneous healing, mystical experiences in his late 20s, changed his life. He created self actualization and forged a mission and purpose that have directed his fulfillment ever since. So, our next speaker, Harrison KLEIN, your topic for today is current reality versus an enlightened perspective. Over to you, sir.
Am I on now? It's me? Okay. Hi, everybody. Appreciate this. That was an awesome presentation, Star. I really enjoyed that thoroughly all the way through. I wanted to also say that, I want to ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question, have you ever felt the need to change the world? Have you ever felt that deep in your bones and your emotions? Have you ever felt that deep in the core of who you are, the need to change the world? And because you have had, difficulties and sufferings and past traumas of all different sorts, there have been a lot of things that want to make us become something that we are not. And amongst those things, if we talk about the topic that I'm going to be talking about today, which is, the current reality for most people, as opposed to the enlightenment or the enlightened approach to what the world is like. We take a look around and we ask the question, about why all this suffering, why all this pain, that the statistics are horrendous about what the actuality of living in a dualistic universe are. On average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused in this world. 1 in 4 households are victimized by crime, robbed and raped or raped. Nearly 1 in 30 people, and especially Black men, are either murdered or touched by murder in some way. 34 out of every 100 women are victims of assault. Violent crimes people have experienced, 83% of people have experienced violent crimes. 8% have experienced rape. Robbery has been 30%, and it goes on and on and on. The World Health Organization, the Bureau of Justice, and the national crime statistics cite those things. Those aren't something that I came together with. They are something that I just read. 86% of the world are basically functionally happening, but they are depressed. Anxiety disorders, panic disorders, social anxiety disorders, phobias, stress, OCD, PTSD, major depression, bipolar disorders, headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, sleep disorders, substance abuse, ADHD, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, not to mention childhood and senior disorders, which are, sometimes even worse. And since the pandemic began here, the Mental Health Institute reported that 19% of increase in those mental health issues and mental health experiences have risen, 19% more since the pandemic began. So levels of anxiety and depression really are being fueled mostly by loneliness and isolation. So, it's really alarming that numbers of children are reporting suicide thoughts and wanting to do harms to themselves, responding to the difficulty of hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people having relationship problems on this planet. So the World United comes together and spirituality comes together and asks the question, what is unity? What is the answer to these kinds of things? What is unity consciousness? Well, let me postulate that, all is one. And what is that? All is one. And separateness, the thing that we perceive as each other, is not real. Only oneness is real. Now, here's what I want to tell you right from the beginning. Don't believe a single word I say. Believe in your own experience. Believe in your heart. And as we grow into a higher space, a higher elevation, a higher perspective of who we are and where we want to go and what we want to do and what we want to experience, not only for ourselves, but all of humanity, we have to be willing to let the illusion slip. Now, separateness is an illusion. It's a complete illusion. And I can sort of begin to tell you about that in the fact that, once we begin to understand that there are infinite realities in the mind of prime source, right? There are millions and millions and billions of galaxies, hundreds of billions of galaxies, hundreds and gazillion numbers of planets and stars. There are enormous amounts of just objects in here in this particular world that we live on. We have a star that is Sol. We have the planets. We have the 7.5 billion people on this planet. All these realities exist in the mind of prime source, and we have to be willing to, be the experiencer of things, because it's my opinion and from my own experience that, energy is, everything is energy. Quantum physics bears that out. So, is it possible to begin to awaken to the fact that we are all one being? Well, I absolutely think it is. Not only can we awaken, but we begin to understand as we awaken, and for all those that have awakened and been touched by somebody who's awakened, which is literally every single person on this planet, we are creating our own realities. We are that drop of water in the ocean that has an experience of its own because it's next to other drops, and we are the ocean itself. And according to quantum physics and hologramic understandings, that everything is contained in the one, and the one is contained in everything. So there is no difference. So we are all the same being. Many on the planet are beginning to awaken to that fact right now. And I want to draw your attention to the fact that, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe a single word I say. What I want you to do is look into your heart and believe your own experience. Cease to believe anything but your own experience. And the only reason that there is disharmony on this planet, the only reason there is suffering on this planet, the only reason that there is pain on this planet is because people are willing to believe in, the illusion and what others have told them to be true, by authorities, by, anyone other than their own heart, by their parents, by authorities, by the media, by so on. They believe in what they are told as opposed to looking into their own hearts. Spirituality is about looking into your own hearts. God or source or prime source is the highest value that is within you, the highest ability for you to understand and the highest ability for you to experience. And anyone pretending to be an authority over you is manipulating you for your own best interests and against others. So anyone that truly has your best interests in heart doesn't do that. They always point you to the truth of your own heart. So, there is an old adage in spirituality and physics and in many, many other traditions of all sorts, that as above, so below, right? So what that means is that as in heaven, so on earth. As in heaven, it is the same as in every single person. We contain the same attributes of what is heaven, and we contain the same attributes. Heaven contains those attributes of us. And oneness contains all things just by definition, and all things contain oneness. So in the center of our being is the whole of everything. So I want you to understand, it means God is within you. Spirituality is within you. The creator of all things is in you. Also in everything else, not just in you, and it is in everything else. And, we're going to show you over the course of the World United, the Third World Parliament, if that is true or not. If that is, and understand that if you want to be in this enlightened experience and separate the idea of events, which are individual happenings, this magic show that's going on that is really crazy out there. If you want to be in that part of the thing, and that part of experience, you can. If you want to be in a perspective that has an enlightened perspective, meaning light, and meaning that it has the understanding of the whole as opposed to the individual parts, we work very hard to create that illusion if we live in the third dimension, like so many of us do, or if we live in a higher dimension, if we transcend that, we get to see what it all is. We get to understand and see energy in a totally different way. And we have to be willing to let the illusion slip for us to come into unity consciousness, for us to come into the whole, for us to become one. And see, everything else you see is this show that is going on in front of us. When we look at events, it's just this show that is happening in front of us continuously. And, most of us are in the audience. Separation is meaning that we're in the audience, basically. But the thing is that when we come into oneness, not only are we viewing what this incredible magic show is that's happening in front of us, we are also the magician. We are also the magician, and we are the audience simultaneously. And here's the thing that I want to get to you guys here at the World Parliament of Spirituality. If you want to find out what that perspective is, that oneness, that unity consciousness, you will, because everything is a choice. Everything is a choice as to what's going on. Your separateness is a choice. Your suffering is a choice. Your pain is a choice. Poverty is a choice. Wealth is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Love is a choice. All these things. If you want to find out what oneness is, you have to choose it. And you have to do it deeply within your heart. And your heart can tell you the difference between unity consciousness and separation is no duality. In other words, we see everything as a continuum of magic experiences happening in front of us on a consistent basis. We work back and forth, and we're going to show you how all that works as you talk to all the speakers in this, as you go through the process of understanding that the one and the many are the exact same things. And sometimes we take the perspective of the one, sometimes we take the perspective of the many. I'm being told that my voice is low. I don't know if I can increase my volume. I'll try to get closer to the microphone here. So what I want you guys to do is to come into the understanding that there is a reality that is the ones you see, but we live in dimensions of many, many, many realities. There's millions of different realities, infinite realities in the mind of Prime Source, and we are just one of them. And what we experience is just one of them. And if you can just see what all the abundance is in the entire universe, the incredible numbers of galaxies, planets, experiences, people, things, living organisms, non-animated organisms, so on and so forth. You can see that all this is held together by something, some sort of glue. Otherwise, it would go flying in different directions. And it's not centrifugal force, it is love. So once we come into the understanding that all is energy and it's all the same energy, we're all made of energy. The table is made of energy, the coffee cup is made of energy, the screen that you're watching is made of energy, and we are made of energy, all vibrating at different frequencies by choice. So it is a choice, and the same energy is conscious energy. It's intelligent, and it's moving, and it's always aware. So some things move faster than others, but regardless of how fast they move, it is a choice to be wood. It is a choice to be stone. It is a choice to be human. And believe it or not, it's all the same energy. So how could it not be? So unity means coming to see through the illusion. It means coming to see through the illusion of so many different things that are most people believe are separate than themselves. We believe that we are different beings, but when we begin to understand and come through the place of understanding what all is, as the one and the many being the same thing, and as we transcend into higher consciousness, this becomes not only a philosophy of humanity and humanitarianism, but it becomes a complete factual experience for you. The energy of oneness is an incredible opportunity to open your heart. It is an incredible opportunity to become so much more than not only what we are, but it's so much more than the universe. Everything is contained within us, and we are contained in everything. So, talk about life. What is life? Life is us, all of life, all this that you see in the universe, all this that you perceive, all this that you hear about, all this that you know about, read about, etc. It's all life, and it's all us. We are the life. The same life is in all of us. So we see different experiences because of our vibrations and because of our choices. That is our birthright from Prime Source. But what is really, truly magnificent is the fact that we can choose to understand that energy as us. And in so doing, we become the universe. We become all of life. We become wise. We become spiritual. We become beautiful. We become wealthy. We become healthy. We become relationship incredible. We become sensational human beings in terms of our magnificence of generosity, our magnificence of joy, our magnificence of fun, our magnificence of everything that we may want. And since we have those access points, we are the oneness, and we're, and every other kind of separation, every other kind of experience is not real. So love is the glue. And that's all I want to say. I want to bring love to the forefront, and I want to emphasize the fact that every speaker that talks about spirituality in one form or another does so by their connection to love. And if you want a greater connection to the world, if you want a greater connection to what is the best inside of you, the highest inside of you, you have to make that connection as well. And it's simply a choice. And enlightenment is a choice as well. Joy is a choice as well. If you want to get enlightened, you simply will. That's all there is. You make that choice and you go for it, and it will come to you, guaranteed. And that's what the Third World Parliament of Spirituality is here to help teach. It is here to teach the fact that there is a beingness that runs through all of us. The same energy that runs through galaxies and creates universes runs through us, and we have access to everything that energy does. So with that, I think my time is coming to a close, and I just wanted to have that one message forward. Love is okay in business. Love is okay in all the things that are competitive. Love is okay in all the anger and the fear and so on and so forth. That is what is behind everything, even the darkness. So love is behind the darkness as well as behind the light. And if we look deeply inside of that, we will see that is a significant so. But again, don't believe me, believe your heart, believe your own experience, explore. And that's all I want to say for today. Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys, and I want to tell you that I love you with the oneness, with the heart of oneness. So I love you with the heart of oneness, and I love you with the heart of infinity. So thank you very much for having me today. That's all I wanted to say at this point.